Whew. Wow. Good evening. Welcome. It is just a little past 7:30 on Monday evening. I hope that you had a good weekend of training and or racing. I actually got outside in the sun on Sunday morning, fat biking, and today it was like a heat wave in Wisconsin. It was like 34 degrees. So I got outside for a few hours on the bike. It was quite nice. So we're doing kind of a forward and backward thing tonight with hips. But before we start that, we're just going to get into a seated position. And I often sit on a block simply because it allows my hips to open up a little more, and it makes it a little more comfortable to be in a seated position. And all we're going to do is just find a couple of moments to, or take a couple of moments to find our breath in through our nose and out through our nose. So we'll inhale and then exhale. And the next exhale, we're going to inhale. We're just going to tilt over. You can maybe even put your hand on your head and just tilt over and come up. And then exhale, and we're just trying to kind of open up our side body just a little bit. And then inhale, and almost as if you're trying to breathe into your right lung. And then exhale. Good. Come to the other side. Hand on your head. Exhale. And just a little bit of side movement. One more time. All right. So I'm going to hop off the block, and we're going to do a seated forward fold. And I'm going to show you an option if you want to make that a little more challenging. Seated forward fold is simply taking, I'm going to extend my left foot so it's flat on the ground. My right foot is going to come into my left thigh, and this is how I'm going to move. I'm going to simply inhale and then exhale and fall forward a little bit so that my chest is coming toward my left knee. And then inhale and exhale. And then if you want to make this more challenging, you can get into half of a cow face by bringing your right knee over your left knee and do the same thing. That is not happening for me tonight, but I am going to put my foot underneath my knee simply to elevate my knee a little bit so that there is less pressure on the tendons underneath. So then we'll inhale and then exhale, come forward. Now, again, I'm not trying to grab my foot and pull. In Fayetteville, Arkansas this weekend for the Cyclocross World Championships. I decided not to go simply because I did not feel like traveling that far for essentially a 4-day weekend. Would have been a lot of fun. The racing looked amazing. Watched all of it. Was happy for the Dutch riders. Okay, let's do one more. And all I'm doing is inhaling and coming up, and then exhale and then leaning forward. And then when I'm done with the exhale, I'm coming up. And when I'm done with the inhale, I'm starting to come down. So I'm feeling this primarily in my hamstring, excuse me, and a little bit in my glute. And now we're going to switch sides. And this is all we're doing tonight, is just doing this in a bow pose. and we'll do some single leg bow poses because bow is a little challenging. Again, I'm going to put my left knee, or my left foot underneath my right knee. I'm hanging on to my left foot just to give myself something to. I just drank, did not sit well. I'm just going to keep just leaning over. It's all I'm doing is just leaning forward and letting my body weight kind of just fall forward so that we All right, so half of a bow pose. B-O-W, bow pose. So what we'll do, lie on your belly. And the bow pose is going to be bringing up our ankles and our feet and hanging on to them and pulling up on our hip flexors to open those. I don't know if that's going to happen tonight yet. So what I'm going to do is bring my left elbow down and reach back and grab my right, heel right now. And that's all that's coming. Maybe I can get my toes. Barely. All right, so I just got one side. All right, so that's all we got right now. Even this is a bit of a challenge. So the inhale is going to be pushing against my hand, and the exhale is going to be pulling back just gently. So we're feeling this in your quads, maybe in your hip flexors. Eventually we're going to try and get my knee off the ground, but this may take a while. So again, relax the muscle on the inhale. That's why my left arm is out in front of me. And then the exhale, just pulling back just a little bit. And it's really not even a pull. It's just letting my heel sink in towards my glute. And on the exhale, I am trying to simply relax everything. And I'm focusing on the breathing so that I can just focus on that and not on any discomfort in the quad. And I'm just trying to gently letting it lengthen. Okay, I'm going to release that one. We'll be coming back to that. I am just going to flip over so you can see what we're doing. You don't need to. You are now going to try to work on your left. You can also use a strap or a towel and wrap it around your ankle. I'm sorry, I forgot that. And that is probably a far easier thing than I'm doing. I can see a towel over on the floor here. I should have grabbed it. And you would wrap it around your left ankle. And then, hold both hands, both ends in your left hand. All right, couple more breaths here. So in the yin yoga tradition, the idea is that you simply hold a pose for 5-8 minutes. But how we focus on this is to stretching suggests that static stretching and just holding a pose isn't very effective in terms of lengthening it because we kind of stress ourselves out. And yet doing this kind of progressive movement where we're simply relaxing into the stretch is way more effective. All right, now we're going to see if we can get into this pose. I don't know that that's going to happen. And again, you can use towels. All right. Sort of cramping a little bit on my left hamstring right now. We'll see if that goes away. All right. So in bow pose, I'm relaxing on the inhale. And on the exhale, I'm pulling up my knees and pulling off my chest off the mat a little bit. The pose is already a little bit challenging. I'm not moving very much because I'm feeling very conscious that I don't want to stress the muscle. I want it to relax and lengthen. And in this pose, you're kind of stressing it. So we're trying to just be, I hate to say gentle with the muscle, but it's more gentle with the movement. Like I'm not trying to pull my ankles back all the way to my head, although I'm sure people can do that. I think this is called like a half bow. A full bow is when you do that, so you kind of almost become a circle. That's just a lot of flexibility that would not do us well in running or cycling or swimming. All right, so I am feeling a lot of relaxing happening in my quads and in my hip flexors. There's no longer any feeling of cramping in my hamstrings. So I'm just slowly trying to continue to move, and I'm slowly opening up just a It just takes this long for your muscles to relax to the point where the point at which the muscle inserts through the bone or wherever it's going, sometimes it just takes a while to lengthen, work all the crap out of it. Let's do one more. All right, then I'm going to take a nap here, if that's okay. My wife had the idea of putting this mat down, a moving mat, and it's brilliant because it's much warmer. All right, well, that is it for tonight. See if this feels any different. Oh, it feels pretty good. All right, we definitely got a little opening in the hips. All right, so tomorrow morning, 6 a.m., we're going to do a flow kind of class to build in some strength, a little bit of mobility. We should really call these classes mobility classes because they're yoga, but we work really more on mobility in our hips and our shoulders. And so at 6 a.m., Tuesday mornings and Thursday evenings at 6 p.m., we'll do these classes. They're all online. They're all on Zoom. I'm right here again. And we do some movements. We do like warrior sequences or crescent lunge sequences where we're holding a pose and moving into it, holding it, moving it, so that we deepen into the pose to build strength, but also to create more mobility in the joint. That's the key. All right, have a good evening. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you soon.